My name is John Sadak, and I am the TV play-by-play announcer for the Cincinnati Reds.
Oh, goodness! That ball had a family! Inside the park, home run! That is clocked! Left center! Reds win!
Generally, I would get here about an hour before when the clubhouse opens, and that's a time that's set by David Bell and our public relations staff every day. Then I spend about an hour up here kind of nerding out, reading research prep material. I've already done a few hours of it most days at my house as well. These are my scribbles. My handwriting is atrocious. There's a reason why I do all of my football and basketball boards typed out on a computer. But there's a certain magic to the baseball book and the multi-click pen, which is a staple for many of us that are longtime baseball broadcast nerds. Normally I'd watch the last start of the opposing team starter, kind of fast forward to his innings, and watch it through the lens of those home team announcers that cover that pitcher every single day. I want to see how his stuff moves, I want to know what the recent story trends are, and I want to be more informed when I go do my own research or talk to those guys for what's happening. And then from here I go downstairs when we have our open clubhouse time. I try not to be intrusive, I try not to go every day. I feel like that's their space. But when I have a question I want to ask, or I at least want to make sure they know I'm around in case they want to ask or say anything to me, I try to make sure that I'm there. Then David Bell has his media availability that overlaps or sometimes comes right after that ends. Then it's back up here. That's when Barry Larkin at the home game shows up, or on the road it's Chris Welsh or Jeff Brantley, sometimes Sam LeCure. We talk a little bit about what's of interest in that game. We go over the open for that night. I speak with Jim Day. I get a text from him with story ideas that he has, how I can best set them up. And then once it's showtime, we record the open. And a pleasant good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Reds Baseball alongside our captain, the Hall of Famer, Barry Larkin. I'm John Sadak. Jim Day on the way with a special guest. We have a meal together. We're usually talking baseball. If we're not doing that, we're making fun of each other. And then we call the game. There's a lot of overlapping pieces of prep, and to be honest, I vary it a little bit, game by game, series by series. I think at the start of the game, you want to give some background on that pitcher. You always want to talk about what does he throw, what's his season been like, what are you anticipating for that day, for both the Reds and the opponent. Pitching's been on point, including Graham Ashcraft. He looks for a third straight quality start. He takes on a Diamondbacks team that's seeking its first three-game winning streak of the season. And our producer, Josh Hall, does an awesome job. He is a creative genius when it comes to graphics and finding a simplistic way to tell a story with just that graphic that then Barry and I, or Jim, and everyone else on the crew can kind of launch off of. This is a team effort of everyone who's in our truck, everyone who's up here in this booth that goes beyond the on-air personnel, and our statistician, Joe Luckup, who is a genius and a savant of Reds history. He has his own proprietary database that when you see or read something, not just on our air, but what often makes it into other media in our area and nationwide, that's about the first time a Red has done such and such since such and such time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The second number on each slash is slugging percentage. And the top line on each slash is theirs versus the league is the second line.
Compares and contrasts two different Reds extremes. That's usually found by Joel. He has scanned in every available box score in Reds history. He's authored 2 books on the history of the Reds. That's a fair ball! Stevenson eyes 2. Gurriel digs corner. Stevenson turning. He shoots for 3. Gurriel's throw! 3 bags for Stevenson! Usually it's me and Barry talking about either what just happened in the inning, about what could be coming up, or we're making fun of each other. We really dance, and Barry and I really groove. Joel sometimes does, sometimes does not, and that definitely leads into some spillover. But also during that time, there's a lot of functional work stuff. Our producer will be in my ear. I'm usually having 2 to 3 conversations at once and looking something up myself independently. That's one of the skills that you have to develop over time in TV. He'll be telling me, hey, coming back from break, we could do this or this. What do you think? Or coming back from break, we're doing this promo. I'm going to show you this shot, and then you kind of take it from there. And that's where that team enterprise comes in again. Occasionally occasionally I'll hit the talkback button on this box, which allows me to talk to the truck, and then I can tell the director, hey, can you please get me a shot of this person or of this position on the field, because I'm going to launch into a story about it. For me, the general idea is, let's say on a home run, you want to react to the homer appropriately.
Steer in the air, deep left center. Gone!
If it was crushed, if it sneaks over the wall, if it's a line drive, and the weight of it in the game. Is it tying the game? Is it the lead? Is it a winner? Or is it an innocent chip away home run to a big deficit or a tack on to a large lead? And then I try to lay out by the time the guy gets to or just beyond first base. And I try not to say anything again until at least he's rounding third, and let our director cut shots. If Barry feels like it's fit for a comment, give that comment, and then try to put a bow on it once that player comes all the way around.
You feel this? The hair is standing up on my arm.
But then there are certain moments the crowd, in my opinion, dictates, and that's the art form, the accordion energy nature of live sport. The LE Cycle game, if the crowd is huge and a historic achievement is there, sometimes you say nothing. And you just let the energy of the place handle it. And I think everything is kind of on a case-by-case basis. Barry is a tremendous friend and a great partner. He's been incredibly kind to me from the first time that I ever had the chance to be in this booth. And to me, that was the first real crystal moment where the significance of the position hit me. I of course, was humbled and happy to have the job, period. But when I did my first game, which was, of course, at home, a season opener, and I'm in a red blazer.
A very pleasant good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Reds Baseball. John Sadak delighted to be alongside two of Cincinnati's own, Chris Welsh, Barry Larkin. Welcome back, fellas.
And I'm alongside Barry Larkin. My phone blew up with hundreds of text messages, emails from folks, many of which just had a screen grab of that and some kind of an emoji. And that's when I recognized the full breadth and depth of what this means. And I'm proud to call him a friend. And I respect the heck out of that guy's opinion. He's a Hall of Famer for a reason. He loves this franchise, and I feel that from him each and every day.
And so these memorable one-liners you had, I mean, there's countless of them. Are these pre-planned out, or are these kind of just spur of the moment, just rolling off the tongue?
They're all kind of in the moment. The exceptions are like when there's Star Wars Day. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of thinking about what Star Wars lines could work in a baseball game in advance.
1-2. There it is. Impressive. Most impressive.
When it's something that's that kind of shticky and is full game long. That ball had a family, or it's a cycle, or any of those kind of moments. That is entirely organic in the moment. I love the unscripted drama of sport. To me, that's the biggest draw. When I decided I wanted to be a sports announcer, it didn't come until my senior year of high school. There is a certain element of presentation to live event sport. When I went to college, Sports Center was huge. I loved the Sports Center announcers. They infused pop culture and humor. I thought they were super talented and funny. 0-2. Struck him out. Lively 99. Looks like he'll be eating right. He goes 1-2-3. Dan Patrick from right up the road in Mason was one of the guys that I looked to the most. But when I got to college and I did that studio desk work, it didn't connect with me in the way that I thought it would. And then I did live games. Candelario launches to left. Gurriel off the wall, sprinting around third, all the way home. Espinal ball gets away, and backing it up, Montgomery. A double drill by Candelario ties the game at 2. And the idea that you try to nerd out and be prepared, you try to tell that human story and get to really know everyone as people. Dude, listen to the pod. Good job, man. Good? Yeah. I like the changeup you learned by just like fiddling with the grip.
Yeah, like it's
without even throwing it.
Like holding it.
That was really neat, man.
Yeah.
And then you try to mesh that to match drama of a moment. That is otherworldly. That is a combination of performance and sport in a way that I fell in love with, and I caught the bug. I think the favorite call has to match up with my favorite moment.
It's a cycle!
that's definitely the LE Cycle game. To me, that was the zenith of the Reds in my time so far. It was the final win in that 12-game win streak. It was the Braves, which was the litmus test for how good is this Reds team. It was a sold-out, bonkers crowd in the biggest, most well-attended 3-game series in the 20-year history of the stadium. It was such a back-and-forth juggernaut smash fest. And then add to it an achievement that's rare by nature, but rarer for the Reds. They had gone since 1989 without a cycle, and Elly De La Cruz, who the world knew was gonna hit a cycle at some point with his skill set, who's wearing 44 for Eric Davis, the man who last hit a cycle, who last had that kind of a skill set, gets the triple as the final hit as part of the back and forth with the Braves. That was all time. I was up until 4 in the morning. I was so emotionally high after that game, and that is the moment that I get asked about the most. With everything, there's always a give and take, right? And I'm very lucky and very blessed to be in this chair, to be up here, and I love everything about my job. But I'm away a lot, you know, it's a lot of nights and weekends, and I miss my daughter a lot, and that could be hard. So I was in the minors for 15 years. I had done some logging with MLB Productions, watching games, writing down what happened. Spent a season in the Yankee front office as their director of scoreboard and broadcast ops. So I was doing camera positions, park and power for trucks, credentialing the rights holders, meeting people in the industry. Then I was an A-ball for almost a decade, AAA for 5 years, and every step had value. With every step I grew. And with each step I kind of said to myself, you know, if this is where it ends, I had a great run. I kind of satisfied what my initial endeavor was. My thought when I started was, I want to call games. I want to get paid to call games. That was really it. And then I wanted to do it at the highest level I could. I also at one point thought this would not happen. I mean, realistically, as I surveyed the landscape, you know, I'm a math guy, so I'm looking at odds and I'm looking at history, and for the most part, first-time lead announcers of big league level teams, whether baseball, NBA, whatever, don't get the job at 50 plus. That's just a general truth. And I was closing in my mid-40s, and it didn't look like it was happening. And I was a little sad about it, and I'd been close in many other jobs, but I already began to pivot and think, well, what else would I do? I'd still work nationally. And my thought was, I wanted to help the next generation of announcer. But every step was worth it. And then, you know, to be here right now it's something that many days I still can't believe. I hope you can do what I get to do when I'm graced to be with awesome partners and analysts. I want to learn something every day. I want to laugh, and I want to feel something. And I hope we're able to do that. I hope you can learn something from the game. I hope you're able to share a few laughs with us, and I hope that we can move you in some way. Thanks for joining me. Go Reds. Get them next time.
And see. Thank you, John.